You are too stupid to ever be a doctor." Victoria Mitchell hurled the transcript across the desk. The papers scattered at Emma Sullivan's feet like broken dreams. "Failed twice. The same exam. My son will not marry a worthless nobody who cannot even pass anatomy." Emma's hands shook. The engagement ring on her finger felt like a death sentence. Behind her, the door opened. Brandon walked in. Emma turned to him, desperate pleading. "Tell her, Brandon. Tell her you love me." Brandon looked at his mother. Then he looked at Emma. "The engagement is over." 6 years later, Brandon Mitchell would lie dying on an operating table. The only surgeon who could save him walked in wearing a white coat embroidered with 4 words, Chief of Cardiac Surgery. Her name was Emma Sullivan. Before we dive into this incredible story, tell me where you are watching from and comment your city below. Subscribe and stay until the end. Now let us begin. Victoria pointed her finger directly at Emma's face. "I know exactly what you are. A gold digger. A failure. A nobody trying to climb into my family through my son's bed." "Mrs. Mitchell, that is not true. I love Brandon. I have loved him for 2 years. Love." Victoria spat the word like poison. "You think love matters. You think love pays for the life my son deserves. I am going to be a doctor. I will build my own career." Victoria laughed. It was cruel, sharp, designed to wound. "A doctor. You. My assistant obtained your transcripts. Anatomy failed. Retake failed. You cannot even pass a basic exam. What kind of doctor fails the same class twice?" Emma's blood ran cold. "Those records are private. How did you get them?" "Nothing is private when you have money. I needed to see exactly how pathetic you are. And now I have proof." Emma stood up. Her legs trembled, but she forced herself to rise. "I work 2 jobs to pay for medical school. I study at 3 in the morning after double shifts. I do not have a rich family handing me everything. I earned my place. And yet you still failed, twice, because you are too stupid." The door opened behind Emma. Brandon walked in. Emma's heart surged. Finally, Brandon would defend her. Brandon would tell his mother the truth. Brandon would choose love. "Brandon, tell her," Emma pleaded. "Tell her about us. Tell her about our plans." Brandon did not look at her. He looked at the floor. He looked at the window. He looked anywhere except at the woman he had proposed to 3 months ago. Victoria placed her hand on her son's shoulder. "Ryan, I am giving you a choice. Marry this failure and lose everything. Your inheritance, your trust fund, your position at the company, your apartment, your car, everything." "Mom, please. Or end this tonight and keep your future." Emma grabbed Brandon's arm. "Brandon, look at me. We talked about this. We said we would face anything together." Brandon finally met her eyes, and Emma saw it. The weakness, the fear, the cowardice. "Emma, I cannot do this." "Cannot do what?" "The engagement is over." The words hit Emma like a physical blow. "No, you do not mean that. She is making you say that." "I am sorry. This was a mistake." "A mistake. Our entire relationship was a mistake." Brandon looked at his mother. Victoria gave him a small nod of approval. "You should go," Brandon said. Emma turned to Victoria. "You did this. You poisoned him." "I saved him from you. Now get out of my house before I have security remove you." Emma looked at Brandon one last time. She waited for him to fight, to show one moment of courage. He turned his back and walked to the window. Emma walked out. She made it to the front door before the tears started. She stepped outside and the sky opened up. Cold November rain soaked through her dress in seconds. She reached into her purse. $4. Not enough for a taxi. She started walking. 3 blocks to the bus stop, rain streaming down her face, mascara running, the borrowed dress ruined. Her phone buzzed. A text from Brandon. "Please understand, I had no choice." Emma stared at the message. Then she blocked his number. Then she kept walking. The bus ride took 40 minutes. She sat shivering by the window. Other passengers moved away from the soaking wet woman crying silently. She did not blame them. She climbed 4 flights of stairs to her apartment. Her roommate Sarah looked up from her textbook. "Emma, what happened? You are soaked. Did it not go well?" Emma walked past her without a word. She went to her bedroom. She closed the door. She lay on the bed in her wet dress. She stared at the ceiling. She did not move for 3 days. She did not eat. She did not shower. She did not go to class or work. She just lay there replaying Victoria's words over and over. Too stupid to be a doctor. A worthless nobody. A mistake. On the 4th morning, Emma forced herself to stand. She could not afford to miss more work. She had rent due, bills piling up, a future that still needed building. She showered. She looked in the mirror. Her eyes were swollen. Her face was pale. She looked broken, but she was still breathing. She went to her morning shift at the coffee shop. Her manager Margaret took one look at her and pulled her aside. "Emma, you look terrible. What happened?" "I am fine." "You are not fine. But whatever it is, you are stronger than it." Emma nodded and started making coffee. But something was wrong with her body. Her stomach churned constantly. Smells made her gag. She was exhausted in a way sleep could not fix. She told herself it was grief. 1 week after Brandon ended everything, Emma stood in a drugstore staring at pregnancy tests. She bought 3. She went home. Sarah was at class. Emma locked herself in the bathroom. First test. 3 minutes. 2 pink lines. Second test. 2 pink lines. Third test. 2 pink lines. Emma sat on the cold bathroom floor holding all 3 tests. Pregnant. She was pregnant with Brandon Mitchell's baby. The man who called her a mistake. The man who chose money over love. The man whose mother called her too stupid to breathe. Emma thought about calling Brandon. She imagined walking back into that mansion. Then she imagined Victoria's face. The accusations. "You did this on purpose. You are trying to trap my son. How much to make this go away?" "No." Emma stood up. She looked in the mirror. Same broken face. But something new burned behind her eyes. Something hard. Something dangerous. "I will not tell them," she said aloud. "I will not beg. I will do this alone, and I will prove every word she said wrong." She put the tests in a drawer. She walked to her desk. She opened her anatomy textbook, and she started studying. 2 weeks later, Emma sat in a community health clinic waiting for an ultrasound. Dr. Patricia Green, an older woman with kind eyes, moved the ultrasound wand across Emma's belly. Then she stopped. "Miss Sullivan, I need to tell you something." Emma's heart clenched. "Is something wrong with the baby?" "Nothing is wrong. But you are not having one baby." "What do you mean?" Dr. Green turned the screen toward Emma. "You are having 3. Triplets." The word echoed in Emma's head. Triplets. 3 babies. Not 1. 3. "That is impossible." "I assure you it is very real. Here is baby A. Here is baby B. Here is baby C. 3 separate heartbeats." Emma stared at the screen. 3 tiny shapes. 3 lives growing inside her. "I cannot have 3 babies. I can barely afford one." "Miss Sullivan, I must be honest with you. Triplet pregnancies are high risk. You need specialized care. You need rest. You need to reduce stress." "I work 2 jobs. I am in medical school. I have no family. I have no partner." "What about the father?" "He does not know, and he never will." Dr. Green leaned forward. Carrying triplets alone, while working 2 jobs and attending medical school, may be the hardest thing any person has ever attempted. Emma looked at those 3 tiny hearts beating on the screen. Then, I will be the person who does it. Emma went home with ultrasound pictures in her purse. 3 babies, no money, no support, no family, And somewhere across Boston, a woman in a mansion who had called her too stupid to succeed. Emma told Sarah that evening. 3 babies, Sarah repeated. Emma, how are you going to do this? I do not know yet, but I will figure it out. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. I want to help, but this apartment is so small. And 3 babies. I understand. You did not sign up for this. Over the next 2 months, Sarah tried. She cooked extra food. She covered shifts when Emma had morning sickness. But Emma saw the stress building. Every time her belly grew, Sarah looked more worried. Then one evening, Sarah came home and did not take off her coat. I found a new apartment, Sarah said. I am moving out at the end of the month. Emma felt the blow but kept her face steady. I understand. I feel terrible. You are my friend and I am abandoning you. You are doing what you need to do. I cannot blame you for that. After Sarah left, Emma could not afford the apartment alone. She found a cheaper place in a rougher neighborhood. 3rd floor. No elevator. 1 bedroom. A kitchen with a stove that barely worked. She climbed those stairs every day. At 6 months pregnant with triplets, it took her 20 minutes. At 7 months, it took 30. By month 8, she had to stop 3 times to catch her breath. One evening, she almost passed out on the 2nd floor landing. She sat on the cold stairs, huge belly pressing against her knees, gasping for air. A door opened, a door. An elderly woman with gray hair peered out. Are you all right, dear? Emma tried to stand. Her vision swam. She sat back down. I just need a minute. The woman came out. She sat down next to Emma on the stairs. I am Rosa Chen. I live in apartment 8. I have been watching you climb these stairs every day. You look like you could use some help. I am fine. You are not fine. You are pregnant with what looks like more than 1 baby. You live alone, and you almost fainted on my staircase. Emma did not have the energy to argue. Triplets. I am having triplets. Mrs. Chen's eyes widened. 3 babies. By yourself? Yes. Where is the father? Gone. Mrs. Chen was quiet for a moment. Then she patted Emma's hand. Come inside. I will make you tea. And we will talk about how I can help. Mrs. Chen was a retired teacher. 40 years in Boston public schools. She had raised 4 children of her own. She understood exhaustion and struggle and doing impossible things because there was no other choice. She offered to watch Emma's babies while Emma attended classes. $20 a day. That is too little, Emma said. Childcare costs much more than that. I am not running a business. I am helping a neighbor. Take it or leave it. Emma took it. But there was another problem Emma had not anticipated. Victoria Mitchell was not finished with her. One afternoon, Emma received a call from the medical school financial aid office. Miss Sullivan, we regret to inform you that your scholarship has been flagged for review. Emma's blood went cold. What? Why? An anonymous donor has raised concerns about your academic performance and eligibility. We need you to come in for a meeting. Emma knew immediately. There was only one person who would do this. Only one person with the money and the spite. She went to the meeting. She brought her transcripts, her work history, her letters of recommendation. The financial aid officer, a tired woman named Mrs. Peters, reviewed everything. Miss Sullivan, I see that you failed anatomy twice, but you are currently retaking it. Your other grades are acceptable. I do not see grounds to revoke your scholarship. Then why was I called in? Someone made a substantial donation to the school and requested a review of your file. They suggested you were not qualified to be here. Emma kept her face calm even as rage burned inside her. And what do you think? Mrs. Peters looked at Emma's massive belly, at the dark circles under her eyes, at the determination on her face. I think anyone who works as hard as you deserves every opportunity. Your scholarship stands. Emma walked out of that office with her fists clenched. Victoria had tried to destroy her from a distance. Victoria had tried to take away her education, her future, her children's future. And Victoria had failed. But Emma was not done. She had something to prove. At 6 months pregnant, she signed up to retake the anatomy exam. The same exam Victoria had used as proof of her stupidity. She studied every night. Her back screamed in pain. Her feet swelled until she could only wear one pair of shoes. The babies kicked at all hours. But she studied. She memorized every muscle, every bone, every nerve, every blood vessel. The exam was on a cold morning in March. Emma walked into the examination hall looking ready to give birth at any moment. She could barely fit into the desk. Other students stared. One whispered to another, "Is she seriously taking this exam right now?" Emma ignored them all. Professor Chen handed out the exams. "You have 3 hours. Begin." Emma opened her booklet. First question, she knew it. Second question, she knew it. She worked through every question. Her hand cramped. Her back ached. One of the babies kicked her ribs so hard she gasped, but she kept writing. 3 hours later, she handed in her exam. 1 week later, Professor Chen called her to his office. He handed her the graded exam. Emma looked at the score. 100%. Perfect. Not a single question wrong. "This is exceptional work, Miss Sullivan. The highest score in the class." Emma held the exam against her chest. Too stupid to be a doctor. She had just proven that statement catastrophically wrong. But Victoria was not the only one moving on with life. 1 week before Emma's due date, she saw a newspaper on the counter of the coffee shop where she worked. Society page. Engagement announcement. Brandon Mitchell engaged to Sophia Warren, daughter of Warren Industries CEO. There was a photo. Brandon in an expensive suit. A blonde woman on his arm. Both smiling. The engagement party would be held at the Mitchell mansion. Emma stared at the photo. 3 months after ending their relationship, Brandon was already engaged to someone else. Someone with money. Someone his mother approved of. She felt nothing. No jealousy, no anger, no sadness. Just cold, hard determination. She threw the newspaper in the trash and went back to work. The morning of her pharmacology final exam, Emma woke up feeling strange. Her back hurt more than usual. There was pressure low in her belly. Something felt wrong. But she had an exam. She had to pass. She had to prove she belonged here. She took the bus to campus. She walked to the lecture hall. She sat in the back row. The professor handed out the exams. Emma began answering questions. 30 minutes in, she felt something warm. She looked down. Water was spreading across her chair. Her water had broken. The babies were coming. 6 weeks early. Emma raised her hand. "Professor, I need to leave." "Miss Sullivan, you cannot leave during an examination." "My water just broke. The babies are coming right now." Every student in the hall turned to stare. The professor went pale. "Someone call 911." Emma gripped the desk as a contraction hit. The pain was unlike anything she had ever felt. "I need to finish my exam." "Miss Sullivan, you are in labor." "I am only 34 weeks. This is too early." 12 minutes later, paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. They lifted Emma onto it. They started wheeling her out. As she passed the professor's desk, she grabbed his sleeve. "I need to retake this exam." "Miss Sullivan." "I will retake it from the hospital. Promise me." The professor stared at her, then he nodded. "I promise." The ambulance screamed through Boston streets. Emma lay on the stretcher, contractions coming faster and faster. "How far apart?" a paramedic asked. 4 minutes, maybe less." "First pregnancy?" "Yes, triplets." The paramedic's face changed. "We are going to Mass General, best neonatal unit in the city. Hold on." At the hospital, nurses rushed Emma into a delivery room. A doctor appeared. Dr. Susan Park, calm, competent, taking charge. "I am delivering your babies. Triplets at 34 weeks means cesarean section. Safer for everyone." "Okay." "Is there anyone we should call family? The father?" Emma thought of Brandon at his engagement party with his new fiancée. "No, There is no one. You are doing this alone. I have been alone since the beginning. They wheeled her into the operating room. The anesthesiologist numbed her from the chest down. She was awake, but could not feel anything below her ribs. She stared at the ceiling, counting tiles, trying not to think about how alone she was. "We are starting," Dr. Park announced. Emma kept counting. 14, 15, 16. "First baby is out." Silence. Then a thin, reedy cry. It is a boy, small but breathing. Tears streamed down Emma's face. "Ethan? His name is Ethan?" They whisked him away to check his lungs. "Second baby coming." Another minute. Another cry. Another boy, breathing on his own. "Lucas." They took him too. "Third baby." Emma held her breath. "A girl, very small. She is—" Silence. Too much silence. "What is wrong?" Emma demanded. "What is wrong with my daughter?" "She is not crying. We need to intubate." Emma tried to sit up. She could not feel her body. She could not move. "Save her. Please save her." More silence. Machines beeping. Doctors talking in urgent clipped tones. Then finally a sound. A tiny cry. Weaker than her brother's. But there. "She is breathing. We have her stabilized." Emma sobbed with relief. "Lily. Her name is Lily. Please take care of her." Dr. Park appeared above Emma's face. "All three babies are alive, but they are premature and need intensive care. Ethan and Lucas are stable. Lily is weaker. The next 48 hours are critical for her." "Can I see them?" "Soon. First we need to close you up." They stitched her incision. They wheeled her to recovery. They left her alone in a hospital room. Emma lay in that bed, empty belly, empty arms staring at the ceiling. Her babies were somewhere in this hospital fighting for their lives. Her daughter might not survive the night, and she was completely alone. But somewhere in her chest, beneath the fear and exhaustion, a fire burned. She had carried these babies alone. She had fought through medical school alone. She had survived Victoria Mitchell's cruelty alone. She would raise these children alone, and she would prove every single person who doubted her catastrophically, spectacularly, permanently wrong. 3 hours later, a nurse came with a wheelchair. "Your babies are stable. Would you like to see them?" Emma could barely speak. "Yes, please." The nurse wheeled her to the NICU, a room full of incubators and machines and tiny, fragile lives. 3 incubators in a row. 3 small bodies connected to wires and tubes. Ethan, 4 pounds 2 ounces, breathing with minimal help. Lucas, 4 pounds even, stable. Lily, 3 pounds 8 ounces, more tubes than her brothers, smaller, weaker. Emma reached through the incubator opening and touched Lily's tiny hand. "I am here, baby girl. Mommy is here. You are going to be okay. We are all going to be okay." Lily's fingers curled around Emma's fingertip. Emma looked at her 3 children. 3 reasons to fight. 3 reasons to survive. 3 reasons to become everything Victoria Mitchell said she could never be. "I am going to be a doctor," Emma whispered to them. "I am going to be the best doctor this hospital has ever seen. And when you are old enough to understand, I am going to tell you this story. I am going to tell you that your mommy was called too stupid. That your mommy was abandoned and alone. That everyone expected your mommy to fail." She looked at Ethan, then Lucas, then Lily. "And I am going to tell you that your mommy did not fail. Your mommy flew." The NICU machines beeped steadily. 3 tiny hearts kept beating, and Emma Sullivan, 24 years old, broke and alone, began the hardest journey of her life. The NICU machines beeped through the night. Emma sat beside Lily's incubator, her hand reaching through the small opening to touch her daughter's tiny fingers. 48 hours. That was what Dr. Park had said. 48 hours to know if Lily would survive. Emma had not slept. She had not eaten. She had not left this room. A nurse came by at 3 in the morning. "Miss Sullivan, you need to rest. You just had major surgery." "I am not leaving her. Your body needs to heal. My daughter needs me more." The nurse sighed and walked away. Emma looked at Lily through the plastic walls of the incubator. So small, so fragile. Tubes in her nose, wires on her chest, a machine breathing for her because her lungs were not strong enough. "You have to fight, baby girl," Emma whispered. "You have to fight because I cannot do this without you. I cannot raise your brothers without you. We are a team. All 4 of us." Lily's heart monitor beeped steadily. Her tiny chest rose and fell. "Your grandmother said I was too stupid to be a doctor. She said I would fail. She does not know you yet. She does not know that you are going to prove her wrong with me. All 3 of you." At 6 in the morning, Dr. Park came to check on the babies. "Ethan and Lucas are doing well. They should be off oxygen support by tomorrow." "And Lily?" Dr. Park checked the monitors. She examined Lily carefully. "Her oxygen levels are improving. She is fighting." "Will she make it?" Dr. Park looked at Emma. "I have been doing this for 20 years. I have learned to never bet against a fighter, and your daughter is a fighter." Emma started crying. Relief, exhaustion, fear. Everything she had been holding inside for the past 2 days poured out. Dr. Park handed her tissues. "You need to eat something. You need to sleep. Your babies need you healthy." "I will. I just need to stay a little longer." At noon on the 3rd day, Lily opened her eyes for the first time. Emma was holding her finger through the incubator opening. Lily's tiny hand was wrapped around it. And then Lily's eyes fluttered open, dark brown like her brother's, like their father. But Emma did not think about Brandon. She only thought about her daughter looking at her for the first time. "Hi, baby girl. Mommy is here. Mommy is always going to be here." Lily's grip tightened around Emma's finger. 1 week later, Ethan came off oxygen support completely. 2 days after that, Lucas followed. By the end of the 2nd week, all 3 babies were breathing on their own. Lily was still the smallest, still the weakest, but she was alive. A hospital social worker came to see Emma on day 15. "Miss Sullivan, I need to discuss some things with you. You are a single mother with no family support. You work 2 jobs and attend medical school. How do you plan to care for 3 premature infants?" "I have a neighbor who will help with childcare. I have a plan." "What about the father? Does he know about the babies?" "No, and he never will." "Miss Sullivan, legally, he has rights. He gave up those rights when he called me a mistake and walked away. I am not putting his name on any birth certificate. These are my children, only mine." The social worker wrote notes. "I am required to tell you that there are resources available: financial assistance, housing support, parenting classes." "I do not need parenting classes. I need to finish medical school so I can support my children properly." "That is very ambitious given your circumstances." Emma looked at the social worker. "I have been told my whole life what I cannot do. I am done listening." On day 21, Dr. Park told Emma the babies could go home. "They are all over 4 pounds now, breathing well, eating well. They are ready." Emma felt terror and joy in equal measure. "Are you sure? What if something goes wrong?" "Something will go wrong. Many things will go wrong. That is parenthood. But you will handle it because you have no other choice." That is terrifying advice. It is honest advice. You have my number. Call if there are emergencies. But Emma, you have already done the hardest part. You kept them alive. The hospital gave Emma 3 car seats. A nurse helped her carry them to the lobby. Emma had called a taxi, her only option. The taxi driver stared at the 3 car seats. "Lady, I do not think those are going to fit." "They have to fit. I have no other way to get my babies home." It took 20 minutes to arrange everything. The driver helped. Other people in the lobby watched. Some whispered. Some looked at Emma with pity. She did not care about their pity. The taxi dropped her at her apartment building. The driver helped carry the car seats to the front door. Emma stared at the 3 flights of stairs. 3 car seats, 3 babies. No elevator. No help. She carried Ethan up first, set his car seat by her apartment door, went back down, carried Lucas up, back down, carried Lily up. By the time all 3 babies were inside her apartment, Emma was sweating and her incision was throbbing. She looked around her tiny home. 3 cribs crammed into the bedroom, bottles lined up on the counter, diapers stacked against the wall. This was her life now. Lily started crying. Then Lucas. Then Ethan. Emma picked up Lily first. Youngest, weakest. Always first. I know, baby. I know. Mommy is figuring this out. She fed Lily while the boys cried. Then she put Lily down and fed Lucas while Ethan cried. Then she put Lucas down and fed Ethan while Lily started crying again. The cycle never ended. 1 hour to feed all 3. 40 minutes of silence. Then someone was hungry again. Emma slept in 20-minute intervals between feedings. By the 3rd day home, she had not showered. She had not eaten a real meal. She had not changed out of her sweatpants. And she still had a pharmacology exam to retake. She called Professor Williams, the professor whose exam she had been taking when her water broke. Professor, this is Emma Sullivan. I was hoping to schedule my makeup exam. Miss Sullivan, you just had triplets 3 weeks ago. Take some time to recover. I cannot afford to fall behind. When can I take the exam? There was a long pause. Are you serious? Completely. Friday at 2, my office. Bring the babies if you have to. That Friday, Emma brought Ethan, Lucas, and Lily to Professor Williams's office. She had borrowed a triple stroller from Mrs. Chen. It barely fit through the door. Professor Williams stared at the 3 babies and the exhausted woman pushing them. Miss Sullivan, this is insane. Maybe, but I need to pass this exam. She took the exam with 3 babies sleeping in a stroller next to her desk. Lily woke up halfway through and started crying. Emma fed her a bottle with one hand while writing answers with the other. She passed with a 91. 2 months into her life as a mother, Emma ran out of money. Her savings were gone. Her credit cards were maxed. She had bought formula on her last paycheck and had nothing left for rent. She sat at her kitchen table at midnight, babies finally sleeping, staring at a stack of bills. Rent due in 5 days. Electric due in 3. Phone due yesterday. She could not ask Mrs. Chen for money. Mrs. Chen was already watching the babies for almost nothing. She could not get more hours at work. She was already working every moment she was not in class or with the babies. She thought about calling Brandon. She even picked up her phone. She found the number she had blocked. Her finger hovered over the unblock button. He had money. His family had money. One phone call could solve everything. But then she remembered his face when he called her a mistake. She remembered Victoria's voice saying she was too stupid to be a doctor. She put the phone down. She would rather starve than beg from people who threw her away. The next morning, Emma found an envelope slipped under her door. Inside was $500 in cash and a note in Mrs. Chen's handwriting. For the babies, do not argue. I was young and broke once, too. Emma sat on the floor and cried. She went to Mrs. Chen's apartment an hour later. I cannot accept this. Yes, you can. It is too much. It is not enough, but it is what I have. You are going to finish medical school. You are going to become a doctor. And someday when you have money, you are going to help another young mother who has nothing. That is how you pay me back. Emma hugged her. I do not know what I would do without you. You would figure it out. That is who you are. Now go study. I will watch the babies. The months blurred together. Emma mastered the art of doing everything one-handed. She could change a diaper while reading a textbook. She could feed a baby while memorizing drug interactions. She could rock a crying infant while watching recorded lectures on her phone. She slept 3 hours a night, sometimes less. She missed the baby's first smiles because she was in class. Mrs. Chen told her about them. She missed Lucas's first laugh because she was at work. Mrs. Chen recorded it. She missed the day Ethan first rolled over. Mrs. Chen took a picture. Each milestone she missed felt like a knife in her heart. But she kept going because there was no other choice. At 6 months old, the babies started crawling. Ethan first, Lucas right behind. Lily took longer, but when she finally crawled, she was the fastest. At 9 months, they started standing, holding on to furniture. Emma was studying for her pathology final when she looked up and saw Lucas standing on his own in the middle of the room. "Oh my God! Oh my God! Mrs. Chen, look!" Mrs. Chen clapped. Lucas grinned and took a wobbly step. Then another. Then he fell on his bottom and laughed. He walked. He took steps. I saw it. I actually saw it. For once, Emma was there for the milestone. She cried more than Lucas did. 1 year after giving birth, Emma was in the middle of her clinical rotations when she got a call from Mrs. Chen. "Emma, Lily has a fever. It is 103. Emma's blood went cold. "I am coming home." She left the hospital in the middle of her shift. She ran to the bus stop. The ride home took forever. When she burst through Mrs. Chen's door, Lily was lying on the couch, flushed and listless. Emma checked her immediately. Dr. Mode taking over mother panic. "How long has she had the fever?" "It started this afternoon. She will not eat." Emma felt Lily's neck. Swollen lymph nodes. She looked in Lily's throat. Red and angry. "I think it is strep. I need to take her to the emergency room to confirm." "Go. I have the boys." Emma rushed Lily to the hospital. Lily was too tired to cry. She just lay against Emma's chest, burning with fever. At the ER, they confirmed strep throat. They gave Lily antibiotics and fluids. "She will be fine," the doctor said. "It is very common in young children." Emma held Lily all night in the hospital. She missed her clinical shift the next morning. She got a warning from her supervisor. "Miss Sullivan, you cannot just leave in the middle of a shift. My daughter had 103 fever. You should have found someone to cover for you." There was no time. She needed me. "If this happens again, we will have to discuss your future in this program." Emma bit her tongue. She wanted to scream. She wanted to ask if he had ever held his sick child alone at 3 in the morning. She wanted to ask if he had ever chosen between his career and his child's health. But she said nothing. She needed this degree. She needed this career. For her children. It will not happen again. 2 years after giving birth, Emma walked across the stage at her medical school graduation. She wore a black gown and a green hood. She held her diploma in both hands. In the audience, Mrs. Chen sat with Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. The toddlers wore matching outfits that Mrs. Chen had made. When they saw their mother on stage, they started clapping and cheering. "Mommy, Mommy!" The whole auditorium turned to look at the 3 adorable children cheering for their mother. Emma found them in the crowd. She blew them a kiss. After the ceremony, they took photos outside. Emma held her diploma in one hand and Lily on her hip. Ethan and Lucas stood beside her holding onto her gown. Mrs. Chen took the picture. Tears streamed down her face. "You did it. You actually did it." "I could not have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. It would have been harder. But you would have found a way. That is who you are." Emma looked at her diploma. Dr. Emma Sullivan. She thought about Victoria Mitchell sitting in her mansion. She wondered if Victoria knew. She hoped Victoria saw somehow. She hoped Victoria choked on her words. Too stupid to be a doctor. The diploma in her hand said otherwise. 1 week later, Emma started her residency in cardiac surgery at Massachusetts General Hospital. The hours were brutal, 36-hour shifts. Emergency surgeries in the middle of the night. No sleep, no rest, no mercy. Her first week, she assisted on a heart bypass surgery. She stood at the operating table for 6 hours, watching, learning, handing instruments to the senior surgeon. When it was over, the attending surgeon looked at her. Good work, Sullivan. Your hands did not shake once. Thank you, sir. Most first years vomit or faint their first surgery. You did neither. I have held premature babies through the night not knowing if they would survive. Surgery is easier. The attending laughed. You are going to do well here. But being good at surgery meant working more hours. It meant getting called in for emergencies. It meant missing more time with her children. One night, Emma came home at 11 after a 14-hour shift. The babies were already asleep. Mrs. Chen was reading in the living room. How were they? Good. Lucas asked for you at bedtime. He wanted you to sing the song. Emma felt her heart crack. There was a song she always sang to them before bed, when she was home. What did you do? I tried to sing it, but I do not know the words. He cried for a while. Then he fell asleep. Emma sat down heavily. I am failing them. No. You are building a life for them. They will understand when they are older. Will they? Or will they just remember that their mother was never there? Mrs. Chen sat beside her. Children remember love. They remember who showed up when it mattered. You will show up. You always do. The months turned into years. Ethan, Lucas, and Lily grew from babies into toddlers into children. They started preschool, then kindergarten. They learned to read. They learned to write. They learned that their mother was a doctor who saved people's lives. Emma rose through the ranks at the hospital. She published research papers on heart valve repair. She developed new surgical techniques. Senior surgeons requested her for difficult cases. 3 years into her residency, the chief of cardiac surgery called Emma into his office. Dr. Robert Martinez was 60 years old and had performed thousands of heart surgeries. He was a legend in the field. Sit down, Sullivan. Emma sat. Her heart raced. Had she made a mistake? Was she being fired? I am retiring next year. Emma blinked. I am sorry to hear that, sir. I am not. I am tired. I have been cutting open chests for 30 years. It is time to rest. That is understandable. The hospital needs a new chief of cardiac surgery. Someone brilliant, someone dedicated, someone who knows what it means to earn something. Emma waited. We want you. The words did not register. I am sorry, what? You would be the youngest chief of cardiac surgery in this hospital's history. 30 years old. It is unprecedented. Sir, there are surgeons with more experience. Experience is not everything. I have watched you for 3 years. You work harder than anyone I have ever seen. Your hands are steady as stone. You make decisions under pressure that surgeons twice your age cannot make. You are the best, Sullivan. We want the best. Emma could not speak. Chief of cardiac surgery. The position she had dreamed about. The position that Victoria Mitchell said she was too stupid to even imagine. Do you accept? Emma thought about the transcript thrown at her feet. She thought about the words, too stupid, echoing in that cold study. She thought about every night she spent studying while her babies cried. Every milestone she missed. Every hour of sleep she sacrificed. Yes, I accept. Dr. Martinez smiled. Good. The board will announce it next week. Congratulations, Dr. Sullivan. You earned this. Emma walked out of that office in a daze. She went to the parking garage. She got into her car. She sat there for 10 minutes. Then she started laughing, then crying, then both at the same time. Chief of cardiac surgery. The girl from South Boston who failed anatomy twice. The single mother who gave birth alone. The woman who was called too stupid to succeed. She was going to run one of the best cardiac surgery programs in the country. That night, Emma picked up her children from Mrs. Chen's apartment. Mommy, you look happy, Lily said. I am happy, baby girl. I am very happy. Did something good happen at work? Emma knelt down to look at all 3 of her children. 5 years old, beautiful, smart. everything she had fought for. Something very good happened. Mommy got a promotion. I am going to be in charge of my whole department. Does that mean you are the boss? Ethan asked. Yes, I am the boss. Cool, Lucas said. Can we get pizza to celebrate? Emma laughed. Yes, we can get pizza. They ate pizza that night in their small apartment. Emma watched her children fighting over the last slice, arguing about toppings, getting cheese on their faces. She thought about the life she could give them now. A real house. Good schools. Everything she never had. And somewhere in the back of her mind, she thought about Victoria Mitchell. She hoped Victoria heard the news. She hoped Victoria choked on it. 2 weeks after accepting the position, Emma stood in the main conference room of Massachusetts General Hospital. Doctors, nurses, and administrators filled every seat. Cameras flashed. Reporters from medical journals waited with their notebooks. Dr. Martinez stood at the podium. It is my honor to introduce the youngest chief of cardiac surgery in the history of this hospital. Dr. Emma Sullivan has shown exceptional skill, dedication, and compassion. Please join me in welcoming her. Everyone applauded. Emma walked to the podium. Her white coat felt heavier than usual. Her name was embroidered on the left side. Dr. Emma Sullivan, Chief of Cardiac Surgery. She looked out at the crowd. Colleagues who had watched her struggle through residency as a single mother. Some who had doubted her. Some who had supported her. All of them watching now. Thank you, Emma said. I am honored to serve in this position. I know what it means to work for something. I know what it means to be told you are not good enough. I know what it means to fail and get back up. She paused. If you work harder than everyone else, if you never give up, you can achieve anything. The applause was thunderous. Colleagues shook her hand. Reporters took photographs. One nurse who had worked with Emma during her first year hugged her tightly. You earned this. I have never seen anyone work as hard as you. That evening, Emma drove to Mrs. Chen's apartment to pick up her children. The triplets were 6 years old now. First graders, smart and curious and full of questions. Mommy, why are you smiling so much? Lily asked in the car. Because today was a very important day. What happened? Mommy became the boss of all the heart doctors at the hospital. The boss of everyone? Ethan asked. Everyone in my department, yes. That is so cool, Lucas said. Does that mean you are famous? Emma laughed. No, baby. Just important to sick people who need their hearts fixed. 2 weeks later, Emma made the biggest purchase of her life. A house in Newton, 4 bedrooms, a backyard, a real kitchen, good schools nearby, safe streets. Everything she had dreamed about when she was pregnant and terrified and alone. She signed the papers in the real estate office. Her hand shook as she wrote her name. Are you all right? The agent asked. Yes. Emma wiped her eyes. These are happy tears. Moving day was chaos. Ethan, Lucas, and Lily ran through the empty house screaming with excitement. Their voices echoed off the bare walls. I want this room. No, I want this room. Mommy, Lily is taking my room. Mrs. Chen helped unpack boxes. She walked through each room, slowly touching the walls, looking out the windows. You did this yourself, Mrs. Chen said. No help from anyone. You should be very proud. That night, after the children were asleep, Emma went to her bedroom. She opened a box she had kept sealed for 6 years. Inside were 2 photographs. The first showed Brandon. Smiling. Handsome. The man she had once loved. The second showed Victoria Mitchell. Silver hair. Cold eyes. The woman who had destroyed her. Emma stared at the photographs for a long time. She had kept them as reminders. Reminders of what she was fighting against. Reminders of who she needed to prove wrong. She put them back in the box. She put the box in her closet. Someday she would show these photographs to her children. Someday she would tell them the whole truth. But not yet. They were too young. They would not understand. One Saturday afternoon, 3 months after moving into the new house, Emma decided it was time. She sat with Ethan, Lucas, and Lily in the living room. They were coloring pictures. Peaceful. Happy. "Kids, I need to show you something." They looked up at her with curious eyes. Emma took out the 2 photographs. Her hands trembled slightly. "This is your father." She held up Brandon's picture. "His name is Brandon Mitchell. He left before you were born. He does not know about you." Ethan stared at the photograph. "Why did he leave?" "He made a bad choice. His mother told him to leave me, and he listened." "Did he love you?" Lucas asked. "I thought he did, but when things got hard, he chose the easy path." "Does he love us?" Lily asked quietly. Emma felt her heart crack. "I do not know, baby. He does not know you exist." She held up the second photograph. "This is your father's mother. Her name is Victoria Mitchell. She is the one who told him to leave me. She said I was too stupid to be a doctor. She said I would fail." Ethan looked at the photograph with serious eyes. "She was wrong." "Yes, she was very wrong." "I do not like her," Lily said, pushing the photograph away. "You do not have to like her. But I want you to remember these faces. Remember that people will sometimes say cruel things. People will sometimes tell you that you cannot do something, but they are wrong. You can do anything if you work hard enough." Lucas picked up Brandon's photograph again. "Will we ever meet him?" "I do not know. Maybe someday." Emma put the photographs back in the box. She returned to the living room and colored with her children until dinner. But she did not know that someday would come much sooner than she expected. 6 months passed. Emma settled into her role as chief of cardiac surgery. She performed difficult surgeries. She trained young doctors. She published research papers. Her reputation grew across the country. The children finished first grade. They started second. Ethan loved reading about space. Lucas loved soccer. Lily loved singing songs from movies she watched with Mrs. Chen. Life found a rhythm. Hard, but good. Exhausting, but meaningful. Then, on a rainy Tuesday in April, everything changed. Emma was in her office reviewing patient charts. She had photographs of her children on her desk, a crystal paperweight shaped like a heart that Lily had given her for Mother's Day. Her pager beeped. Emma looked at the screen. Emergency surgery. Male patient 32 years old. Massive heart attack. Needs immediate valve replacement and bypass surgery. Then she read the patient's name. Brandon Mitchell. Emma stared at the screen. She read the name again. Brandon Mitchell. Her Brandon. The man who had abandoned her. The father of her children. Her hands started shaking. She told herself it could be a different Brandon Mitchell. The name was not uncommon. But she knew. Deep in her gut, she knew. She stood up. She pressed her hands flat against her desk until they stopped trembling. Brandon was here. Brandon was dying. And she was the only surgeon who could save him. Emma walked toward the emergency wing. Her mind raced with thoughts she could not control. She could refuse the case. She could claim a conflict of interest. She could let another surgeon take over. But she knew the damage from his charts. Severe. Complex. Most surgeons would hesitate to attempt it. She was the best. Everyone knew it. Brandon would die without her. Did she want him to die? She stopped in the middle of the hallway. Did she? After everything he had done. After abandoning her while she was pregnant. After calling her a mistake. After 6 years of silence. Did she want him dead? No. Emma started walking again. She was a doctor. She had taken an oath. Her personal feelings did not matter on the operating table. She would save his life. Not for him, for herself. To prove that she was better than the people who had hurt her. A nurse met her in the hallway outside the consultation room. Dr. Sullivan, the patient, is in room 3 with his family. His wife and mother are waiting. His wife. Yes, Sophia Mitchell. His wife. He had gotten married. Of course he had. And his mother is here. Yes, Mrs. Victoria Mitchell. Emma felt ice spread through her chest. Victoria was here, in her hospital, waiting in a room for Emma to save her son. The universe had a cruel sense of humor. Emma stopped outside the consultation room door. She took 3 deep breaths. She composed her face into professional calm. Then she remembered something terrible. Her children were in the hospital. The daycare had closed early today due to a water pipe issue. A nurse had brought Ethan, Lucas, and Lily to her office. They were coloring at her desk right now. She could not let them see Victoria. She could not let them be in the same room. But there was no time. Brandon was dying. Every minute mattered. Emma made a split-second decision. She walked quickly back to her office. The children looked up when she entered. "Mommy, are you done with work?" Lily asked. "Not yet, babies. I have an emergency surgery. I need you to come with me for just a minute. You have to be very quiet and very good. Can you do that?" "Yes, Mommy," Ethan said. He was always the most serious. Emma took Lily's hand. Ethan and Lucas walked beside her. They went down the hallway toward the consultation room. Emma stopped outside the door. "Stay close to me. Do not talk unless I say so. This is very important." The children nodded. Emma opened the door. Brandon was lying in a hospital bed connected to monitors and tubes. His face was gray. He was sweating. He looked terrible. But Emma could still see the man she had once loved. The man who had broken her heart. A blonde woman sat beside the bed holding Brandon's hand. Beautiful. Well-dressed. This must be Sophia, his wife. And standing by the window was Victoria Mitchell. Silver hair pulled back tight. Expensive navy suit. Cold, composed face. She looked exactly the same as she had 6 years ago. Exactly the same. Emma stepped into the room. "I am Dr. Emma Sullivan, Chief of Cardiac Surgery. I will be performing Mr. Mitchell's surgery today." Victoria turned and looked at Emma. Her face went completely white. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. Brandon stared at Emma from the hospital bed. His eyes went wide with shock. "Emma," he whispered. Sophia looked confused. "You know each other?" Before Emma could answer, Ethan walked into the room behind her. He saw Victoria standing by the window. He stared at her face. His eyes went wide. He pointed directly at her. "Mommy, that is her. That is the mean lady from the photos." Lucas came in behind him. "The one who said you were too stupid." Lily walked right up to Victoria. She looked up at the tall woman with the silver hair. Her small voice was clear and strong. "My mommy is the smartest person in the world. You were wrong." The room went completely silent. The only sound was the beeping of Brandon's heart monitor. Sophia stood up slowly. Her voice shook. "What children? What photos? What is happening?" Victoria stood frozen by the window. Her face was white as paper. Brandon could not take his eyes off Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. He looked at their dark hair, their brown eyes, his eyes. "They look like me," Brandon whispered. "Oh my God, they look exactly like me." Sophia's voice rose. "Brandon, what is going on? Who is this woman? Who are these children?" Emma remained perfectly calm. She kept her doctor face on. "These are my children, Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. They are 6 years old." Sophia did the math instantly. Her face changed. 6 years old. We have been married for 5 years. She turned to Brandon. "You said you had no serious relationships before me. You said there was no one." "Sophia, I can explain." "Explain what?" "That you have 3 children you never told me about, that you were engaged to someone else." Victoria finally found her voice. "Dr. Sullivan, this is completely inappropriate. You need to leave this room immediately. Send another surgeon." Emma looked at Victoria with cold eyes. I am the only surgeon available who can perform this surgery in time. Your son needs valve replacement and 4 bypass grafts. He needs surgery within the next 2 hours, or he will die. You can let me operate, or you can watch him die. Your choice." Victoria's face turned red. There must be someone else. Anyone else. There is no one else. I am the chief of cardiac surgery. This is my specialty. I have performed this exact surgery 53 times. I have never lost a patient. Sophia was still staring at Brandon. "You were engaged. You never told me you were engaged before me." "I was scared," Brandon whispered. "I was ashamed." "Ashamed of what?" "My mother made me leave her 6 years ago. I did not know she was pregnant. I swear I did not know." Sophia took a step back. "You have 3 children. 3 children who look exactly like you. And you never told me." "I did not know they existed." Ethan walked closer to Brandon's bed. He stared at the man's face. "You look like us," Ethan said. Brandon started crying. Tears ran down his pale face. "You are mine. These children are mine." "What?" Sophia's voice cracked. "You have children. You have 3 children. And you never—" She could not finish the sentence. She grabbed her purse and walked toward the door. "Sophia, please wait. Do not talk to me. Do not ever talk to me again." She slammed the door behind her. Victoria pointed at Emma. "This is your fault. You did this. You are destroying my son's marriage." "Your son destroyed his marriage when he lied to his wife for 5 years. I did nothing. You brought those children in here deliberately. You wanted to humiliate us." "I brought my children because the hospital daycare is closed. I did not plan this. Fate brought us together today. Your son is dying in my hospital. I am the only one who can save him. And you are standing there accusing me instead of begging me to operate." Victoria opened her mouth, but no words came out. Emma turned to Brandon. "Mr. Mitchell, I do not have time for family drama. You are dying. Your heart is failing right now. Do you consent to me performing surgery, yes or no?" Brandon looked at Emma. Then he looked at his 3 children. Then back at Emma. "Yes, I consent." "Good." Emma turned to a nurse in the doorway. "Take my children back to my office. Find someone to stay with them." Ethan did not want to leave. "Mommy, is that man really our father?" Emma knelt down to look him in the eyes. "Yes, he is. But I need to work now. I need to fix his heart. Be brave for me." Lucas held Ethan's hand. Lily held Lucas's hand. The 3 children walked out together. The nurse closed the door behind them. Victoria sat down heavily in a chair. She looked old suddenly. The coldness gone from her face. Only fear remained. "You are going to operate on my son?" "Yes. The woman I called stupid. The woman I threw out of my house. You are going to cut open my son's chest." "Yes. How do I know you will not let him die?" Emma looked at Victoria with steady eyes. "Because I am a doctor. Because I took an oath. Because I am better than you." She walked out of the room without looking back. 2 nurses wheeled Brandon to preoperative prep. Emma followed. She had to scrub in. She had to clear her mind. She had to forget that this patient was the man who had abandoned her. She scrubbed her hands and arms for 5 full minutes, harder than necessary. The soap was rough against her skin. She focused on the surgery: incision, sternum saw, rib spreader, bypass machine, valve replacement, grafts, close. A young resident named Dr. James Parker came to assist. "Dr. Sullivan, are you ready?" "Yes." They entered the operating room. Brandon was already on the table unconscious. Machines monitored every vital sign. 6 medical professionals stood ready. Nurses, anesthesiologist, another resident, the perfusionist to run the bypass machine. Everyone waited for Emma. She stood at the table. She looked down at Brandon's face. He looked peaceful in sleep. She remembered watching him sleep years ago, when she thought he was her future. when she thought they would build a life together. That felt like a different lifetime. That felt like a different Emma. "Scalpel," she said. A nurse placed the instrument in her gloved hand. Emma made the first incision down the center of Brandon's chest. Her hand was completely steady. She cut through skin, through fat, through muscle. She exposed the sternum bone beneath. Saw. She cut through the breastbone. The sound filled the operating room. She had done this hundreds of times. It never bothered her. She placed the rib spreader and opened Brandon's chest. His heart was visible now, beating weakly, damaged badly, worse than the scans had shown. "This is severe," Emma said. "We need to move quickly." The team worked together. They prepared the bypass machine. They inserted cannulas into Brandon's heart and major blood vessels. "Ready for bypass," the perfusionist announced. "Start bypass." The machine began to hum. Brandon's heart slowed. Then it stopped completely. The machine kept him alive now. Emma looked at Brandon's still heart. This was the heart that had once loved her. The heart that had broken hers. The heart that had been too weak to fight for her. Now it was just an organ that needed repair. She began to work. She removed the damaged valve carefully. She measured for the replacement. She sutured the new mechanical valve into place. Her stitches were perfect, even, precise. 3 hours passed, then 4, then 5. Emma did not stop. She did not rest. She did not think about anything except the surgery. She completed the valve replacement. She moved to the bypass grafts. She harvested veins from Brandon's leg. She bypassed 4 blocked arteries one by one. The resident assisting her spoke quietly. "Dr. Sullivan, how do you stay so calm during surgery?" Emma did not answer. She kept working. She thought about giving birth alone, about studying while 3 babies cried, about climbing 3 flights of stairs with a broken body, about proving everyone wrong. Surgery was easy compared to what she had already survived. 8 hours into the surgery, Emma completed the final bypass graft. She inspected her work carefully. Every stitch was perfect. Every connection was secure. "We are ready to restart the heart." The perfusionist began warming Brandon's blood. They reduced the flow from the bypass machine gradually. Shocking in 3, 2, 1. They applied the paddles. Brandon's heart began to beat. Slowly at first, then stronger, then steady. "The heart is functioning normally," the anesthesiologist confirmed. Emma watched the monitors for 5 full minutes. The rhythm was stable. No irregularities. No problems. "Begin closing." She sutured Brandon's chest carefully. She wired his sternum back together. She closed the skin with neat, even stitches. The surgery had taken 9 hours. Emma removed her surgical mask. Her face was exhausted, but calm. "The patient is stable. Transfer him to cardiac ICU." The team moved Brandon to a gurney. They wheeled him out of the operating room. Emma followed them. She gave orders to the ICU nurses about post-operative care. She checked every monitor twice. Then she walked to the waiting room. Victoria sat in a chair staring at nothing. She looked like she had aged 10 years in 9 hours. Sophia was gone. She had left hours ago. Victoria stood up when Emma entered. "Is he?" "The surgery was successful. I replaced his damaged valve. I bypassed 4 blocked arteries. His heart is beating normally. He will be in the ICU for the next few days. If there are no complications, he should recover fully." Victoria's legs gave out. She sat back down heavily. "You saved him." "Yes. After everything I did to you, everything I said, you saved my son's life." Emma looked at Victoria with cold eyes. "I did not do it for you. I did not do it for him. I did it because I am a doctor, and because I refuse to become the kind of person you are." She turned and walked away. She went back to her office. Mrs. Chen had arrived and was sitting with the children. They were asleep on the couch, exhausted from the long day. Mrs. Chen looked up when Emma entered. "I came as soon as I heard. The nurses told me what happened." "Thank you for coming." Emma looked at her 3 sleeping children. Ethan with his arm around Lucas. Lily curled up in a ball. "How are you?" Mrs. Chen asked quietly. Emma sat down in her chair. Her legs could barely hold her anymore. "I just saved the life of the man who abandoned me, the father of my children, the man whose mother called me too stupid to be a doctor." "How do you feel?" Emma was quiet for a long moment. "Empty. I thought I would feel something. Triumph. Revenge. Satisfaction. But I just feel empty." "That is because you are not a vengeful person. You are a healer. You saved a life today. That is what you do." Emma looked at her children again. He saw them. He knows about them now. Everything is going to change. Yes, it is. I do not know if I am ready for that. Mrs. Chen took Emma's hand. "You survived medical school with 3 newborns. You became chief of surgery at 30. You just performed 9 hours of surgery on the man who broke your heart. You can survive anything." Emma closed her eyes. Tomorrow she would deal with the consequences. Tomorrow she would face Brandon when he woke up. Tomorrow she would decide what kind of relationship he could have with the children he never knew existed. But tonight, she was just a mother, sitting with her sleeping children, grateful they were healthy, grateful they were hers. And somewhere in the ICU, Brandon Mitchell's heart was beating, because of her. 3 days after the surgery, Brandon Mitchell opened his eyes. A nurse was checking his monitors when his eyelids fluttered. He looked around the room confused and frightened. "Where am I?" His voice was rough, barely a whisper. "Massachusetts General Hospital. You had open heart surgery. You are in recovery." "Who did the surgery?" "Dr. Emma Sullivan. She is the chief of cardiac surgery. You are very lucky to be alive." Brandon closed his eyes. Emma. Emma had saved his life. The nurse brought him water. She adjusted his IV. She checked his vitals. "Your wife and mother were notified that you are awake. They should be here soon." Brandon said nothing. He stared at the ceiling and tried to remember everything that had happened before the surgery. 3 children. He had 3 children. They had looked at him with his own eyes. Victoria arrived first. She walked into the room slowly, like she was approaching something dangerous. She sat in the chair beside his bed, but did not reach for his hand. "How do you feel?" "Like someone cut open my chest." Brandon's voice was bitter. "Which someone did. She saved your life, Ryan." "Her name is Emma. Say her name." Victoria flinched. "Emma saved your life." "The woman you called stupid. The woman you made me abandon. She held my heart in her hands for 9 hours and chose not to let me die." "I know." "Where is Sophia?" Victoria was quiet for a long moment. "Her lawyer called this morning. She is filing for divorce." Brandon felt nothing. He should feel something. His marriage was ending. But all he could think about were 3 faces with his eyes. "I have children, Mother. 3 children I never knew existed." "I know." "Did you know she was pregnant? When you made me leave her, did you know?" "No. I swear I did not know." "But if you had known, you would have done the same thing." Victoria did not answer. Her silence was answer enough. "Get out." "Ryan! Get out of my room. I cannot look at you right now." Victoria stood slowly. She walked to the door. She stopped with her hand on the handle. "I was trying to protect you. You destroyed me. You destroyed her. You destroyed any chance I had at real happiness. That is not protection. That is control." Victoria left without another word. 1 hour later, Sophia came. She stood at the end of Brandon's bed. She did not sit. She did not come closer. She did not touch him. "You are awake." "Sophia, I am sorry. I am so sorry. I should have told you. You should have told me a lot of things. Her voice was ice. You should have told me you were engaged before me. You should have told me you abandoned a pregnant woman. You should have told me you had 3 children walking around in the world. I did not know about the children. I swear I did not know. But you knew about her. You knew you left her. You knew your mother forced you to choose money over love, and you lied to me about all of it. I was ashamed. You were a coward. You are still a coward. Sophia reached into her purse and pulled out a manila envelope. Divorce papers. My lawyer prepared them this morning. She dropped the envelope on the bed. Sign them. Do not fight this. Do not drag this out. We have no children together, thank God. This can be clean and fast. Sophia, please. Can we talk about this? There is nothing to talk about. Our entire marriage was built on lies. You let me believe I was your first real love. You let me believe there was no one before me. Every day for 5 years you looked me in the eyes and lied. Brandon had no defense. Everything she said was true. I am sorry. Sorry does not fix this. Sophia walked toward the door. Sign the papers. Have your lawyer send them back. I do not want to see you again. She left. Brandon lay in his hospital bed alone. His wife had left him. His mother had betrayed him. His chest was held together with wire and stitches, and somewhere in this hospital were 3 children who shared his blood. The next morning, Emma came to check on Brandon. She was wearing her white coat, her name embroidered on the pocket. She carried a tablet with his medical charts. She was professional and distant. Mr. Mitchell, I need to examine your surgical site. She did not call him Brandon. She called him Mr. Mitchell, like he was just another patient. Emma lifted his hospital gown and checked the incision down his chest. Her touch was clinical, detached, nothing like the way she used to touch him. Healing well, no signs of infection. Your heart rhythm is stable. She made notes on her tablet. Emma, Brandon said. Dr. Sullivan. The correction stung. Dr. Sullivan, I need to say something. I am listening. I am sorry. I am so sorry for leaving you, for listening to my mother, for being a coward. I should have chosen you. I should have fought for us. Emma looked at him. Her face showed nothing. Your apologies are 6 years too late. I know. But I need you to know that I regret it. Every day. I have regretted it every single day since I walked away from you. That must be very difficult for you. Her voice was flat. No sympathy. No softness. I did not know you were pregnant. I swear I did not know. If I had known... What? You would have come back. You would have stood up to your mother. Emma shook her head. We both know that is not true. You would have done exactly what she told you to do because that is who you are. Brandon felt tears running down his face. I have changed. Have you? Your wife just left you because you lied to her for 5 years? That does not sound like change to me. I want to meet them. The children. My children. Please. Emma was quiet for a long moment. I will think about it. Emma. Dr. Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan. Please. I know I do not deserve it, but they are my children too. Emma looked at him with eyes that held no warmth, no forgiveness, no hope. I am not doing this for you. I am doing this for them. They deserve to know their father. But you do not deserve to know them. Not yet. You will have to earn that. I will do anything. We will see. She left the room without looking back. 2 weeks later, Brandon was discharged from the hospital. Sophia's divorce was already moving forward. She wanted nothing from him except freedom. No money, no property, just out. Brandon moved out of their expensive brownstone in Back Bay. He found a small apartment in Cambridge. Nothing like the life he had known. His mother barely spoke to him. Their conversations were short and cold. How are you feeling? Fine. Do you need anything? No. That was all. 6 years of lies and control had finally caught up with Victoria Mitchell. One afternoon, 2 weeks after leaving the hospital, Brandon called Emma's cell phone. She did not answer. He called again the next day. She did not answer. On the third day, she finally picked up. "What do you want?" "I want to see my children. Please." Silence on the other end. "I know I do not deserve it. I know I have not earned it. But please, just 1 hour. Let me see them." More silence. Saturday, 10 in the morning. Albemarle Park. "You will have 1 hour. I will be there watching the entire time." "Thank you. Thank you so much." "Do not thank me. This is not for you." She hung up. That Saturday, Brandon arrived at Albemarle Park at 9:30. He sat on a bench and waited. His heart was pounding. His hands were sweating. He had not been this nervous since his surgery. At exactly 10 o'clock, Emma walked down the path. Ethan, Lucas, and Lily walked beside her. They were holding hands. Brandon stood up. His legs felt weak. Emma stopped a few feet away. "Children, this is Brandon Mitchell, your father." Brandon looked at his 3 children. They were beautiful, smart-looking, perfect. They had his hair, his eyes, his chin. "Hi," Brandon said. His voice cracked. "I am very happy to meet you." "Hi," Ethan said cautiously. Lucas and Lily stayed quiet. Emma walked to a bench about 20 feet away. "I will be right there. You have 1 hour." Brandon sat on the grass so the children could look down at him. It felt right that they were higher. They deserved to look down on him. "Can I ask you a question?" Ethan said. "Yes, ask me anything." "Why did you leave our mommy?" Brandon had known this question was coming. He had practiced his answer 100 times. "I was scared. Your grandmother told me I had to choose between your mother and money. I chose money. That was wrong. That was cowardly. I am very ashamed." "Did you love our mommy?" Lucas asked. "Yes, very much." "Then why did you listen to your mean grandmother?" Brandon almost smiled. They called Victoria the mean grandmother. It was accurate. "Because I was weak. I let fear control me. I made the worst decision of my life." Lily spoke for the first time. "Mommy said you did not know about us. Is that true?" "Yes, I did not know. I blocked your mother's number. I never tried to contact her again. If I had known about you, I would have—" He stopped. "I want to say I would have come back. But I do not know if that is true. I was a coward." The children looked at each other. Some silent communication passed between them. Then Ethan spoke again. "Are you still a coward?" The question hit Brandon hard. "I am trying not to be. I want to know you. I want to be part of your lives. But I understand if you do not want that." "We do not hate you," Lucas said quietly. "We do not know you." "That is fair. I do not know you either, but I want to." Lily walked closer to him. She stared at his face for a long time. "Do you promise not to leave again?" "I promise. I will show up every time. I will be here." "Okay," Lily said. She sat back down. They spent the rest of the hour talking. Brandon asked about school, about their favorite things, about their lives. Ethan liked reading about space. Lucas liked soccer. Lily liked singing songs from movies. Brandon told them about himself, about his job, about where he lived now. He did not mention his big house or his money. He kept things simple. When the hour was over, Emma walked back to them. "Time to go." The children stood up. Lucas surprised everyone by hugging Brandon quickly. Then he ran to his mother. Ethan and Lily did not hug him, but they waved goodbye. Brandon watched them walk away. His children. His 3 beautiful children. He had missed 6 years of their lives. He sat on the bench and cried. The visits continued every other Saturday. Slowly, very slowly, the children began to trust Brandon a little more. He brought a soccer ball and played with Lucas. He brought books about planets for Ethan. He listened to Lily sing and clapped loudly. But they did not call him Dad. They called him Brandon. And they always ran to Emma first. 3 months after the first visit, Brandon asked Emma if the children could stay overnight at his apartment. No. Just one night. I will take good care of them. They are not ready. You are not ready. When will I be ready? When you prove you can be trusted. When you show up consistently for more than a few months. When my children tell me they want to stay with you. That could take years. Yes, it could. That is what happens when you abandon people. Trust takes a long time to rebuild. Brandon accepted it. He had no choice. Meanwhile, Victoria Mitchell made her own attempt at reconciliation. One afternoon, she appeared at Massachusetts General Hospital. She asked the receptionist to page Dr. Emma Sullivan. She waited in the lobby for 45 minutes. Finally, a secretary led her to Emma's office. Victoria walked in carrying an expensive bouquet of flowers. She placed them on Emma's desk. "I came to apologize." Emma looked at the flowers but did not touch them. "I am listening. I was wrong about you. I judged you unfairly. I called you stupid. I made my son leave you. I did not know you were pregnant, but even if I had known..." Victoria paused. "I probably would have done the same thing. I was wrong. You are clearly an exceptional woman, an excellent mother, an extraordinary surgeon. I am sorry." Emma leaned back in her chair. "You called me too stupid to be a doctor. You said I would fail. You destroyed my engagement. You made me raise 3 children completely alone." "I know. Do you know what that was like? Working 3 jobs while pregnant with triplets? Giving birth alone, studying for exams while 3 babies cried, sleeping 3 hours a night for 2 years, missing my children's first words because I was working. I cannot imagine." "No, you cannot. Because you have never worked for anything in your life. You have never struggled. You have never been told you were worthless by someone with power over you." Victoria looked down at her hands. "You are right. Your apology does not change what happened. Your apology does not give me back those 6 years. I know. But I will give you one chance." Victoria looked up surprised. "You can see Ethan, Lucas, and Lily once a month. Supervised visits at my house. You will bring no expensive gifts. You will not speak badly about me in front of them. You will treat me with respect. If you break any of these rules, you will never see them again." "I understand. Thank you. I am not doing this for you. I am doing this for them. They deserve to know their grandmother. But you will have to earn their love. You cannot buy it." Victoria stood to leave. At the door, she turned back. "You saved my son's life. After everything I did to you, you still saved him. Why?" Emma looked at her steadily. "Because I am a doctor, and because I am better than you will ever be." Victoria left without another word. The first supervised visit was scheduled for the following Saturday. Victoria arrived at Emma's house at exactly 2 in the afternoon. She carried no gifts. She wore simple clothes. She looked more human than Emma had ever seen her. "Mrs. Mitchell, come in." The children were sitting on the couch. They stared at Victoria with curious but cautious eyes. "Children, this is your grandmother. Her name is Mrs. Mitchell. She is going to visit for 1 hour." "Hello?" Victoria said. Her voice was uncertain. She did not know how to talk to children. "Hi," Ethan said. Lucas and Lily said nothing. Victoria sat in a chair near the couch. An awkward silence filled the room. "You are all very handsome, and Lily, you are very pretty." "Thank you," Lily said politely. More silence. "Do you like school?" "Yes," Ethan said. "I like reading." "I like drawing," Lucas added. "I like singing," Lily said. "Those are wonderful things." The conversation stumbled along. Victoria had never felt so uncomfortable in her life. These were her grandchildren, her own blood. but they looked at her like she was a stranger. Because she was a stranger. Finally, Ethan spoke directly. "Why did you say mean things to our mommy?" Victoria's face went pale. She looked at Emma. Emma's expression did not change. She was waiting to hear the answer too. "I made a mistake. I said things that were not true. I hurt your mother very badly. I am sorry." "Did you say sorry to her?" "Yes." "Did she forgive you?" Victoria swallowed hard. "No, she did not. I do not think she ever will. I do not deserve her forgiveness." The children were quiet. They looked at their mother. Emma's face remained calm. The rest of the visit was stiff and awkward. When the hour ended, Victoria stood to leave. "Can I come back next month?" "Yes. Same day, same time." Victoria left. In her car, she cried. Her driver pretended not to notice. Months passed. Brandon continued his visits every other Saturday. He never canceled. He always showed up on time. One Saturday in December, he took the children ice skating. Emma came along but stayed at the side watching. Lucas fell down constantly but kept laughing. Lily skated in circles singing. Ethan moved carefully, concentrating on his balance. Brandon held Lily's hand to help her stay upright. She looked up at him. "Brandon, can I call you Dad?" Brandon stopped skating. His heart clenched. "You can call me whatever you want." "I want to call you Dad. Lucas already does sometimes. I want to try." "Okay," Brandon whispered. "You can call me Dad." From the side of the rink, Emma watched. She felt no jealousy. The children deserved a father. Even one who came late. Even one who had to earn his place. After skating, Brandon drove the children back to Emma's house. He walked them to the door. "Thank you for today," he said to Emma. "They had fun. That is what matters." Brandon hesitated. "Can I ask you something?" "What? Do you think you will ever forgive me?" Emma looked at him for a long moment. "No, I will never forgive you. But I do not need to forgive you. I moved on a long time ago. You are the one who has to live with what you did." Brandon nodded. "I understand." He walked to his car and drove away. Victoria also continued her monthly visits. Slowly, she learned how to be a grandmother. She stopped trying to buy affection with expensive gifts. She brought her time instead. She played board games. She asked about school. She listened. On her 8th visit, something changed. Maya ran to the door when the bell rang. When she saw Victoria, she smiled. "Hi, Grandma." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. It was the first time any of them had called her Grandma. "Hello, sweetheart." That day, Ethan showed Victoria his book about black holes. He explained everything he had learned. Victoria listened carefully and asked questions. When the visit ended, Victoria looked at Emma. "Thank you for giving me this chance. I know I do not deserve it." "You are right. You do not. But you are trying. That matters." 6 months after the surgery, Emma received a letter. It was from the American College of Cardiology. They were holding a conference in Philadelphia. They wanted to give Emma the Excellence in Cardiac Surgery Award. She would need to give an acceptance speech in front of hundreds of doctors. Emma showed the letter to Mrs. Chen. "This is wonderful. You must go. I will have to take the children with me. Can you come? I would not miss it for anything." The weekend of the conference, Emma drove to Philadelphia with Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. Mrs. Chen met them at the hotel. The children thought the hotel was magical. They jumped on the beds. They explored every corner. They ordered room service and thought it was the most exciting thing in the world. The next morning, Emma put on her best dress. Mrs. Chen helped the children into matching navy blue outfits she had made specially for the occasion. The conference center was enormous. Hundreds of doctors filled the main hall. Emma found seats for Mrs. Chen and the children in the front row. The lights dimmed. The president of the American College of Cardiology walked to the podium. "Today we honor excellence in our field. It is my pleasure to present the Excellence in Cardiac Surgery Award to Dr. Emma Sullivan." Everyone applauded. Emma walked to the stage. Her legs felt unsteady, but she forced herself to move with confidence. She accepted the Crystal Award. It was heavy in her hands. She stepped to the microphone. She looked out at the audience. Hundreds of doctors, some of the best surgeons in the country, and in the front row her 3 children. Her real achievement. Her real success. Thank you. This award means everything to me. Not because I need validation, but because it represents a journey. She paused. 6 years ago, someone told me I was too stupid to be a doctor. Someone told me I would fail. Someone told me I was not good enough. The room was completely silent. I want to tell you something important. People will try to make you believe you are not good enough. People will put obstacles in your way. People will tell you to give up. Do not listen to them. Work harder than everyone else. Prove them wrong. Not because you need their approval, but because you deserve to succeed. She looked at Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. I was told I was too stupid. I was told I would fail. I did not fail. I flew. The audience erupted. Everyone stood. The applause was deafening. But Ethan, Lucas, and Lily clapped the loudest. They stood on their chairs and clapped until their hands hurt. That night, back at the hotel, Emma tucked her children into bed. "Mommy, are you famous now?" Lucas asked. "A little bit, maybe." "You were amazing up there," Ethan said seriously. "Everyone was clapping for you." "They were clapping for what I said, for the message." Lily snuggled closer. "What was the message?" Emma stroked her daughter's hair. "That no matter what anyone says, you can do anything you work hard enough for. That being called stupid does not make you stupid. That being knocked down does not mean you stay down." "Is that why you work so hard?" Ethan asked. "I work hard because I want to give you 3 the best life possible, and because I want you to see that hard work pays off, that dreams are worth chasing." The children fell asleep. Emma sat in a chair by the window looking at her Crystal Award. She thought about Victoria Mitchell. She thought about Brandon Mitchell. She thought about the girl who sat on a bathroom floor 6 years ago, holding 3 pregnancy tests, terrified and alone. That girl had survived. That girl had thrived. That girl was now being honored as one of the best cardiac surgeons in the country. Emma held the award against her chest and cried. Happy tears. Triumphant tears. The tears of someone who had finally proven them all wrong. The drive home from Philadelphia felt different than any drive Emma had taken before. The Crystal Award sat in a box on the passenger seat. Her 3 children slept peacefully in the back. Mrs. Chen followed in her own car behind them. Emma glanced in the rearview mirror at Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. 6 years old. Beautiful. Healthy. Everything she had fought for. She had done it. She had really done it. 1 year passed after the award ceremony. The children turned 7. They moved from 1st grade to 2nd. Ethan became obsessed with astronomy. Lucas joined a soccer team. Lily started taking singing lessons. Brandon continued his visits. He never missed a single Saturday. Not when he had the flu, not when his car broke down, not when work demanded his attention. He showed up. Every time. Without fail. One Saturday afternoon in September, Brandon took the children to the Science Museum. Emma stayed home for the first time. She did not follow them. She did not watch from a distance. She trusted him. When they came back 4 hours later, all 3 children were talking over each other. Mommy, we saw a real rocket. Daddy, let us touch a meteorite. There were dinosaur bones bigger than our house. Emma froze. She looked at Lucas. What did you call him? Lucas blinked. Daddy, is that okay? Emma looked at Ethan and Lily. They were watching her carefully. Do you all call him that now? Sometimes, Ethan said quietly. Not always, but sometimes. Emma felt something shift inside her. Not pain, not anger, something closer to acceptance. That is okay. If you want to call him Daddy, you can. The children's faces lit up. They ran to Brandon and hugged him. Brandon looked at Emma over their heads. His eyes were wet. Thank you, he mouthed. Emma nodded once. Then she went inside to start dinner. That night, after the children were asleep, Emma sat in her kitchen alone. She thought about what had just happened. Her children had chosen to call Brandon their father. They had forgiven him in a way she never could, and she was okay with it. She picked up her phone and called Mrs. Chen. "Rosa, the kids called him Daddy today. How do you feel about that? I thought I would be angry or hurt, but I am not. I am just tired. Tired of holding on to the anger." "That is growth, Emma. That is healing. I am never going to forgive him." "You do not have to forgive him to move forward. Forgiveness is not required for peace." Emma was quiet for a long moment. "I think I am finally at peace." 2 months later, something unexpected happened. Emma was in her office reviewing surgical schedules when her assistant knocked on the door. "Dr. Sullivan, there is a woman here to see you. She does not have an appointment. She says her name is Sophia Mitchell." Emma's heart stopped. Brandon's ex-wife. The woman who had watched her world collapse in a hospital room 2 years ago. "Send her in." Sophia walked into Emma's office. She looked different than Emma remembered. Thinner, sadder, but also calmer. "Thank you for seeing me. I was surprised you wanted to meet." Sophia sat down across from Emma's desk. "I owe you an apology." "For what?" "For the way I acted in that hospital room. For looking at you like you were the enemy. You were not the enemy. You were a victim just like me. Brandon lied to both of us." Emma leaned back in her chair. "I appreciate you saying that. I also wanted to thank you." "Thank me. For saving his life. I know what he did to you. I know what his mother did to you. And you still saved him. That takes a kind of strength I do not think I have. I am a doctor. I took an oath. It is more than that. You could have let him die. No one would have blamed you, but you did not. You are a better person than I would have been." Emma was quiet for a moment. "How are you doing?" "After everything." Sophia smiled sadly. "I am rebuilding, slowly. I moved to New York. I started a new job. I am dating someone who actually tells me the truth." "I am glad." Sophia stood to leave. Then she paused. "Your children are beautiful. I saw the picture on your desk. They look just like him, but I hope they turn out nothing like him." "They will not. I am raising them to be brave." Sophia nodded and left. Emma sat alone in her office for a long time after that conversation. She thought about all the lives Brandon's cowardice had touched, all the pain his one decision had caused. But she also thought about the strength that had come from that pain. Her strength. Sophia's strength. Even Victoria's slow, painful growth. Cruelty creates ripples. But so does survival. Spring arrived. The children finished 2nd grade. Emma performed groundbreaking surgeries. She was invited to speak at conferences across the country. Her name became known in medical circles everywhere. But she always came home. One evening in May, Emma sat on her back porch watching the sunset. The children were inside doing homework. The house was quiet. Her phone rang. Brandon. "Hello." "Emma, I need to tell you something." His voice sounded strange, emotional. "What is wrong?" "Nothing is wrong. Something is right. For the first time in my life, something is actually right." "Brandon, what are you talking about?" "I just came from a meeting with my lawyer. I am changing my will. Everything I have goes to Ethan, Lucas, and Lily when I die." Emma was silent. "I know money does not fix anything. I know it does not make up for the years I missed. But I want them to have security. I want them to know I thought about their future." "Brandon, you do not have to do that." "I know I do not have to. I want to. They are my children, the only real thing I have ever done in my life." Emma felt tears prick her eyes. Not for Brandon, for her children, for the security they would have. "Thank you. I should be thanking you for letting me know them, for giving me a chance I did not deserve. You earned it, slowly, but you earned it." There was a long pause. "Emma, can I ask you something?" "What?" "Are you happy?" The question surprised her. "Yes, I am happy. I have my children. I have my career. I have people who love me. I am happy." "Good. That is all I wanted to know." He hung up. Emma sat on her porch as the sun disappeared below the horizon. She thought about the strange journey that had brought her here, the cruelty that had almost destroyed her, the determination that had saved her. She was happy. She had finally arrived. 1 month later, Victoria Mitchell came to Emma's house for her regular visit. But something was different this time. Victoria looked older, frailer. She moved slowly. "Mrs. Mitchell, are you feeling all right?" Victoria sat down heavily in a chair. "I need to tell you something." Emma felt a chill run down her spine. "What is it?" "I have been diagnosed with cancer. Pancreatic. Stage 4. The words hung in the air. "The doctors say I have 6 months. Maybe less." Emma was a doctor. She knew what stage 4 pancreatic cancer meant. There was no cure, no hope. "I am sorry." Victoria laughed bitterly. "Are you, after everything I did to you?" Emma thought about the question honestly. "Yes, I am sorry. Not for you, for my children. They just started to know their grandmother, and now they are going to lose her." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "That is what I wanted to talk to you about. I have wasted so much time, so many years being cruel and controlling. I want to spend whatever time I have left making it right." "What do you want to do?" "I want to see them more. Every week if you will allow it. I want to make memories. I want them to remember something good about me." Emma looked at this woman who had once called her stupid, who had destroyed her engagement, who had made her raise 3 children alone. Now Victoria was dying. Alone. Afraid. Desperate for connection. "You can see them every week. No more supervised visits. Come whenever you want." Victoria started crying. "Thank you. Thank you." "But you have to tell them. About the cancer. They deserve to know." "I will. I will tell them today." Victoria gathered the children in the living room. Emma stayed in the kitchen close enough to hear, but giving them privacy. "I need to tell you something important," Victoria said. "What is it, Grandma?" Lily asked. "I am sick, very sick. The doctors say I am going to die soon." Silence. "What do you mean, die?" Ethan asked. His voice was scared. "Everyone dies eventually. My time is coming sooner than I hoped. But I want you to know that I love you. All 3 of you. You are the best thing that ever happened to me." "Can Mommy fix you?" Lucas asked. "Mommy fixes hearts." "No, sweetheart. This is not something anyone can fix. But that is okay. I have had a long life, and the best part of it has been getting to know you." Lily started crying. She climbed onto Victoria's lap and hugged her. "I do not want you to die." "I know, baby. I do not want to leave you either. But we have time. We have right now. And I want to spend every moment I have left with you." Emma wiped tears from her own eyes. She had never imagined feeling sympathy for Victoria Mitchell. But watching her children grieve for their grandmother broke something inside her. The months that followed were difficult. Victoria came to see the children every week, sometimes twice. She brought no gifts. She brought herself, her time, her stories. She told them about Brandon as a child, about their great-grandparents, about family history they had never known. She played games with them. She watched movies. She sat in the audience at Lily's singing recital and cried. As the cancer progressed, Victoria grew weaker. But she never stopped coming. One afternoon in October, Victoria could barely walk. Emma helped her to the couch. "You should rest at home." "No. I want to be here. I want to see them." The children sat around Victoria. They had learned to be gentle with her, to speak softly, to cherish each moment. "Grandma, tell us a story," Lily said. Victoria smiled weakly. "What kind of story? Tell us about when you were young." Victoria told them about growing up in Boston, about meeting their grandfather, about building the Mitchell family business. She did not tell them about the cruelty, the control, the mistakes. She told them about love, about hope, about dreams. When the story ended, Victoria looked at Emma. "Can I speak with you alone?" Emma nodded. The children went to their rooms. Victoria took Emma's hand. Her grip was weak. "I need to apologize again. A real apology. Not for them. For you." "You already apologized." "I apologized with words. I need to apologize with truth." Victoria took a shaky breath. "I was wrong about everything. I thought money was power. I thought control was love. I thought I was protecting Brandon by keeping him away from you. You were not protecting him. You were controlling him. I know that now. And it cost me everything. It cost him everything. It almost cost you everything." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "You are the strongest person I have ever met. You took everything I threw at you and turned it into gold. You raised those children alone, and they are magnificent. You became a surgeon when I said you were too stupid. You saved my son's life when you had every reason to let him die." Emma said nothing. "I was wrong to call you stupid. You are brilliant. You are extraordinary. You are everything I wish I had been." "Thank you for saying that." "I mean it. Every word." Victoria squeezed Emma's hand. "Take care of my grandchildren. Take care of Brandon. He is weak, but he is trying. And take care of yourself. You deserve happiness. You deserve everything." "I know." Victoria smiled through her tears. "Yes, you do know. That is what makes you different from me. I never knew what I deserved. I only knew what I wanted to take." 2 weeks later, Victoria Mitchell died in her sleep. The funeral was held on a gray November morning. Brandon stood at the front of the church looking lost. The children stood beside Emma dressed in black. Ethan held his mother's hand tightly. Lucas stood very still. Lily cried quietly. After the service, Brandon walked over to them. "Thank you for coming." She was their grandmother. "Of course we came." Brandon looked at his children. "Are you okay?" "We are sad," Ethan said. "But Mommy says it is okay to be sad. It means we loved her." Brandon knelt down to look at them. "Your grandmother made a lot of mistakes in her life, but she loved you. She changed because of you. You made her better." "We know," Lily said. "She told us." They left the funeral together, not as a family, but as something close to it. 1 year later, everything had settled into a new normal. Brandon saw the children every other weekend now. Sometimes they stayed overnight at his apartment. Sometimes he came to family dinners at Emma's house. He was not a perfect father, but he was present, consistent, trying. The children were 8 years old, thriving, happy. Ethan had won a science fair with a project about black holes. Lucas was the star of his soccer team. Lily had performed her first solo at a school concert. Emma watched all of it. Every game, every concert, every achievement. She never missed another moment. On a warm evening in May, exactly 8 years after Emma had given birth alone in a hospital room, she received a phone call. "Dr. Sullivan, this is Dr. Robert Martinez. We met when I was retiring." "Of course, Dr. Martinez. How are you?" "I am calling because the American Medical Association is giving out their Lifetime Achievement Award this year, and they have selected you as the recipient." Emma could not speak. "Dr. Sullivan, are you there?" "Yes, I am here. Are you sure?" "You are the youngest chief of cardiac surgery in Massachusetts general history. You have published over 30 research papers. You have pioneered new surgical techniques. You have trained dozens of young surgeons. You are exactly the kind of doctor this award was created for. I do not know what to say. Say yes. The ceremony is in Washington, D.C. in September. Bring your family. This is a celebration. Emma hung up the phone. She sat in her kitchen, stunned. Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Medical Association. The girl who was called too stupid to be a doctor. The single mother who gave birth alone. The woman who was told she would fail. She had achieved more than she ever dreamed possible. The ceremony in Washington, D.C. was the largest event Emma had ever attended. Thousands of doctors filled the convention center. Cameras flashed everywhere. Television crews recorded for medical news programs. Emma walked in with Ethan, Lucas, and Lily by her side. Mrs. Chen followed behind them, beaming with pride. Brandon was there too. Emma had invited him. The children had asked. They sat in the front row as Emma walked to the stage. The president of the American Medical Association introduced her. Dr. Emma Sullivan is a testament to the power of perseverance. She rose from poverty to become one of the most respected cardiac surgeons in the country. She raised 3 children as a single mother while completing her residency. She has saved hundreds of lives and trained the next generation of surgeons. It is my honor to present her with the Lifetime Achievement Award. The applause was thunderous. Emma walked to the podium. The award was heavy in her hands, crystal and gold, her name engraved on the base. She looked out at the audience. Doctors from every specialty, leaders in medicine, people who had dedicated their lives to healing, and in the front row, her children, her everything. Thank you, Emma said. This award is not just mine. It belongs to everyone who believed in me when I could not believe in myself. She looked at Mrs. Chen. It belongs to the woman who watched my babies for almost nothing because she knew I needed help. She looked at her children. It belongs to my 3 miracles who gave me a reason to keep fighting when I wanted to give up. She paused. 8 years ago, I was told I was too stupid to be a doctor. I was abandoned by someone I loved. I was pregnant with triplets and completely alone. I had every reason to fail, every excuse to quit. The room was silent. But I did not quit. I did not fail. I did not let other people's words define my worth. And I want to tell everyone watching this that you should not either. She gripped the podium. You will meet people who tell you that you are not good enough. You will meet people who try to break you down. You will meet people who want you to fail because your success threatens them. Do not listen. Keep working. Keep fighting. Keep proving them wrong. She looked directly at her children. I was told I was too stupid to be a doctor. Today, I am receiving the highest honor in American medicine. That is what happens when you refuse to let cruelty define you. That is what happens when you turn pain into power. She held up the award. I did not fail. I flew. And so can you. The entire convention center erupted. Everyone stood. The applause went on for minutes. Ethan, Lucas, and Lily climbed onto their chairs and cheered louder than anyone. That night back at the hotel, Emma tucked her children into bed one last time. Mommy, you are famous now, Lucas said. A little bit. Are you the best doctor in the world? Lily asked. I do not know about the best, but I am very good. You are the best to us, Ethan said seriously. Emma kissed each of them on the forehead. Mommy, are you happy? Lily asked. It was the question they had asked her so many times over the years. And for so many years, she had not been sure of the answer. But tonight she was sure. Yes, baby, I am happy. I have you 3. I have my work. I have people who love me. I have everything I ever wanted. Do you still think about the mean lady? Ethan asked. Grandma Victoria. Emma thought about Victoria, about her cruelty, about her transformation, about her final months trying to make things right. Yes, I think about her sometimes. She taught me something important. What? That people can change. That it is never too late to try to be better. and that the worst things that happen to us can become the things that make us strongest. The children fell asleep. Emma sat by the window looking out at the Washington, D.C. skyline. The monuments were lit up against the night sky. She thought about her journey. 24 years old, alone, pregnant with triplets, called too stupid to succeed. 32 years old, chief of cardiac surgery, Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, mother of 3 amazing children. 8 years. 8 years from broken to brilliant, from abandoned to accomplished, from stupid to extraordinary. She had not just survived, she had transformed. She had taken every cruel word, every obstacle, every moment of despair, and turned them into fuel. She had proven everyone wrong. But more importantly, she had proven herself right. She had always known deep down that she was capable of greatness, even when no one else believed it, even when she could barely believe it herself. Now the whole world knew. Emma stood up from the window. She walked to the bed where her children slept. She looked at Ethan, Lucas, and Lily. 3 lives she had created and nurtured and loved through impossible circumstances. They were her greatest achievement. Not the awards, not the surgeries, not the recognition. Them. She had given them a life she never had. Security. Love. A mother who would never abandon them. And in doing so, she had healed herself. Emma Sullivan lay down next to her children. She closed her eyes. Tomorrow she would go back to Boston, back to the hospital, back to saving lives. But tonight she was just a mother, surrounded by her children, at peace. She had been called too stupid to be a doctor. She became chief of cardiac surgery. She had been abandoned and alone. She built a family on her own terms. She had been told she would fail. She received the highest honor in American medicine. She had been broken. She became unbreakable. Victoria Mitchell had once said Emma would return to nothing. Victoria Mitchell was wrong. Emma Sullivan did not return to nothing. Emma Sullivan became everything. And that is where this story ends. Not with revenge, not with bitterness, not with the satisfaction of proving enemies wrong. It ends with peace. It ends with a woman who took every cruel word ever spoken to her and transformed them into wings. It ends with 3 children sleeping safely beside their mother. It ends with the truth that cruelty does not define us. Our response to it does. Emma Sullivan was called too stupid to be a doctor. 6 years later, she became chief of surgery. 8 years later, she received the highest honor in American medicine. But the real victory was not in the awards or the titles. The real victory was in becoming the person she was always meant to be. Unbroken, unstoppable, undefeated. She did not just survive, she flew.